Hi and welcome to another Storytime show with me, Kamal Kaur. Today marks a very important date in the Sikh calendar. We're going to be talking about how our Vaade Sahibzaade became martyrs for our Sikh religion. For Christians, December is a time of year to send warm wishes and to celebrate Christmas and the birth of Jesus Christ. But for Sikh, it's about fighting for our religion. Sikh have Singh in their surname, which means lion, and lions are fearless. And this is exactly what the Sikh demonstrate throughout history and to this very day. Guru Gobind Singh Ji is our 10th Guru. He had 4 sons who were collectively known as the Vaade Sahibzaade. Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, Baba Zora Singh Ji, Baba Vaade Singh Ji. Baba Zora Singh Ji and Baba Vaade Singh Ji were the 2 youngest of the Vaade Sahibzaade, and they were told by Wazir Khan, who was a Nawab of Sindh at that time, that they had to be bricked alive because they refused to convert to Islam. This event took place on the 26th of December 1705. Before the Vaade Sahibzaade obtained martyrdom, they were captured and kept in a coal tower called the Danda Burj with their grandmother, Mata Gujri Ji. This was in the middle of winter. They were then taken to Fatehgarh Sahib, where there was a brick wall that was built around them. But this broke down before the prince lost their breath. Wazir Khan then ordered the executioners to slit the throats of the young princes. After hearing the news, Mata Gujri Ji took her last breath. The 2 older princes, Baba Ajit Singh Ji and Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, both fought in the Chamkaur battle, and that's where they obtained martyrdom. This is how Guru Gobind Singh Ji lost his 4 sons and his mother. Guru Gobind Singh Ji couldn't go to the battle himself as he was stabbed in the chest by his enemy. Therefore, he trained his disciples and appointed Baba Banda Singh Bahadur as their leader. The Sikhs fought in the Battle of Chapachiri, where Wazir Khan was then killed. This took place on the 22nd of May, 1710. Sikhs have always been taught to stand up for the righteousness and to never give up. Martyrdom of the Vaade Sahibzaade. The 2 elder sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Sahibzade Ajit Singh Ji, Sahibzade Jujhar Singh Ji, were 18 and 14 years old respectively when they achieved martyrdom at Chamkaur Sahib. Sahibzade Ajit Singh Ji was born on the 26th of January 1687 at Paonta Sahib. He was named Ajit because it means invincible. He was initiated into Khalsa at the age of 12 along with his family on the 1st Vaisakhi day, which is 13th of April 1699. Sahibzade Jujhar Singh was born on the 14th of March 1691. He was the 2nd son of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and he was born at Anandpur Sahib. He was also initiated into Khalsa on the 13th of April 1699. After Guru Gobind Singh Ji left Anandpur Sahib at the beginning of December, they crossed the Salsa River and the families got separated. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, along with the 2 elder Sahibzade and a few other Sikh, ended up staying at Chamkaur Sahib. The 2 youngest sons of the Guru, along with Mata Gujri Ji, got separated. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji and his 40 Sikh reached Chamkaur Sahib, they were exhausted and they settled into the fortress-type house of Chaudhry Buddha Chand and decided to face the approaching enemy forces there. By the night, the enemy forces, who were made up of Mughal rulers and Hilli Rajput rulers, broke their promises and assembled, and there were thousands of them surrounding the fort. Guru Gobind Singh Ji didn't sleep the whole night. He was watching the singers who were sleeping on the floor. He tended to their needs. Sometimes he saw faces of the singers in them, and sometimes he was praising their valor. The enemy attacked the fortress in the morning, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji and the Singhs kept them at bay, which resulted in a lot of heavy casualties of the enemy. When the arrows got smaller, the enemy started coming closer to the fortress, and it was decided that the Singhs would now go out in batches. 5 Singhs of each batch would fight with the enemy hand in hand. The enemies were in thousands, and there was 5 Singhs out there at a time to try and keep them away and to fight them. Can you imagine the valor and the courage of these Singhs? Can you imagine having to stand there in front of thousands of people who want to kill you? Groups were leaving the fortress, and after heavy casualty to the enemy, they were laying down their lives for the Guru, humanity and truth. Seeing our valiant ones giving up their lives, Sahibzade Ajit Singh Ji looked for consent from Guru Gobind Singh Ji. He wanted to go outside and fight with the enemies, just like the Sikhs before him. Guru Gobind Singh Ji was proud to hear these words from Baba Ajit Singh Ji. He himself armed his elder son and marched his next group of Sikh to fight with the enemy and obtain martyrdom. Guru Gobind Singh Ji considered Sikh no less dear than his own sons. The group of 5 Sikhs fighting with thousands of the army proved the sayings of Guru Gobind Singh Ji that he would be worthy of being Gobind Singh when he would make a Singh so brave and fearless that he would fight 1,000 enemies. Ajit Singh Ji attacked the enemy like a lion and killed numerous enemies with his spear. The blade of the spear was penetrating the bodies of the enemies and piercing them. The horse of Baba Ajit Singh Ji was injured, so he dismounted the horse and took his sword out to fight with the enemy soldiers. When Baba Ajit Singh Ji was cutting the enemies into pieces, a spear was able to pierce deeply into the body of Baba Ajit Singh Ji. He still fought bravely until many arrows were stuck inside his chest. The brave son of Guru Gobind Singh Ji achieved martyrdom under the appreciative eyes of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. He was really pleased on seeing the courage of his son. Guru Gobind Singh Ji thanked Waheguru for helping his son to live upon his father's expectations and sacrificing himself for the true cause. This proved that Guru Gobind Singh Ji did not hesitate to offer his own sons for sacrifice for the rightful cause he was fighting for. After Ajit Singh achieved martyrdom, a proud father was pleased by the valour of the son in fighting for the enemy. The second son of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, was watching all this from the fortress. After seeing the heroic fight of his brother, he wanted to do the same. His courage was at peak. As Sahibzade Ajit Singh Ji obtained martyrdom, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji requested his father to allow him to go out with the next batch of Sikh to fight the battle with courage and valour like his elder brother. Baba Jujhar Singh Ji assured his father that he would not let him or the Khalsa Panth down. He would attack the enemies with courage and drive them away. His father, who was listening to his 14-year-old son, was filled with pleasure by seeing his determination. He himself armed his son again and marched him with the next group of 5 Sikh. No Singh was ready for allowing Baba Jujhar Singh Ji to join them, but his determination and love to fight made them respect his decision. Baba Jujhar Singh Ji assaulted the enemy so hard that they were so astonished to see the youthful contender in the front line battling so boldly that his sword was chopping down the leaders of the aggressors. The enemy had not seen this kind of battle in their entire life. He was such a small man, and he was acting like a lion and killing the power adversary just like they were sheep. At last, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji was injured and attained martyrdom under the watch of his father. Lots of dead enemies were also surrounding him. Guru Gobind Singh Ji thanked Akal Purakh that his young son also met with the expectations of his father and made the Khalsa Panth proud. Guruji sacrificed his two older sons, proving that when it came to making sacrifice for true cause, he would not hesitate to offer his own sons to show the world that Sikh ideals alone and not his own sons were more dearer to him. They sacrificed their lives for the nation and making the bricks of the nation stronger. They are the pillars of Sikhism. We do call them martyrs because a martyr is one who chooses to suffer death rather than renounce his faith. I hope that learning more about the history of Guru Gobind Singh Ji and the Vaade Sahibzaade gives you a bit more courage, makes you just so proud of where you've come from. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Storytime, and I'll see you very soon.